Oh, yes, can we touch me though? Alright. So this is a science and tradition video on the physical body, the astral body, and etheric body. Um, uh, Especially if we're taking into consideration plants and how they function and how they see us. Plants are essentially a nervous system without a physical body, you know, like we have. But in the studies that we'll go into later, what they found is that plants, their cellular structure is uh, essentially the same as the nervous system. You can tell by looking at them, you know, how they look like an inverted person. And that's essentially what they are. They have all the hallmarks of a nervous system. It even went down to the chemistry, melatonin, serotonins, different brain chemicals that we find. And that's why some plants have mental health benefits and all that kind of stuff, you know. But the idea is to kind of demystify some of this stuff, some of the information that I was looking into when I was younger. You'll like even the Kirlian or the PIP or the resonance, all those things. Any of these things that you look up will have debunking experts in it right away and this and that. And the good thing about them is if you take a few minutes on any one of them, you can get past that kind of nonsense, and that's really what it takes. They're relying on the idea that people won't look any deeper than page 1 on Google, right? And so the physical body, we're talking about physical body for healing, mental, emotional, you know, all those kind of things. And when we're looking at the physical, astral, and etheric bodies, these are all energies that occupy the same space, integrated in a cohesive way, and each one has an effect on the other, right? And one can be a reflection of one, you know, and kind of guide you through cause and effect, different situations. And that's what they use some of these imaging for, is to find health issues. You know, the most obvious one is MRI. You know, that's magnetic resonance. You know, these are things that they account for readily and easily, which is related to the resonant field imaging. It's just some different equipment, but essentially you're looking at similar products, you know, and so you can tell what kind of health issues people are having. When I think about the body, structural integration, the human antenna, how your body, good posture, balance, you know, those types of things have an effect on your body and your connection with the energies that you're in and around, right? And so when you're praying, sitting with your legs crossed, with your back straight, with your head balanced, that is limiting, removing all of the impedances as far as energy goes in your human antenna, right? And so balancing your head, you're going to have, you know, when you have like a stick balanced, you're going to have the least amount of resistance. And so that's what we're looking for when we're thinking about these things. And again, this is how plants see us. Plants see these energy bodies, and that's how they're able to modify themselves and work with that way. And it's just nature science calls them different things, like atmospheric energy, fifth states of matter, you know, that type of stuff. And to kind of keep you away from the idea that these are all interrelated concepts, right? And so brainwave function and breath, the physical control of your breath has an effect on your body's functions and connections with these things. It has effect on your personality. When we're looking at some of these other, like as far as like your chakra system, and this equipment, you can measure where you're at in those energy bodies, and you can get an understanding of what kind of life lessons you're going to have, the effect it has on your personality, just from physical pain. The obvious one is the pain, right? It's hard to have your mood adjust when you're in that type of pain, and so when you relieve that lets go of things. And a lot of people that go through a 10 series on structural integration have a spiritual experience, right? Because you're correcting that fascial system, which is related to your interstitium, which is your that fifth state of water or whatever. So your etheric energy, and it has an influence on that. Your health, your mood, all of those things are interrelated as far as the physical body goes. And so, how do those things integrate energy and matter in your body? You know, the path of cosmic energy that takes through your body when you're thinking about spiritual ascension, awakening, understanding, you know, those types of things. And the physical structure of the antenna, your balance, your breathing, you know, all of those things are are focused on through the physical body, but then also those lead you to the astral and the etheric. And you don't have to be into Qigong and Reiki and you know, Eastern traditions or New Age kind of stuff to need to know that the astral body and the etheric body are real and they're measurable, and they have a huge impact on your ability to navigate life and just have that confidence. You know, not that faith and belief aren't good, but when you can have certainty and confidence, you know, that's why I bring these up, is because when I came out of high school and college, I thought these types of things were nonsense. Even though I had actually witnessed them in my own everyday life, I didn't know that that's what I was looking at, right? And so when we're talking about Kirlian photography, there's basically two ways to take the photography, and what it is showing is that living light, right? Your astral body, and so what we have is a commonality between all living things that have this type of energy. I don't know if you can see it very well, but this has kind of a cherry blossom, pinkish, peachy kind of color to it, right? And so if you're standing in a room that has like some sunlight coming in, and then you go into a dark room, and you can see the shapes of the doorway, and maybe the pictures on the wall. If you stand and watch that and let your vision adjust, you'll notice that bright color tapers down to this kind of cherry blossomy, pinkish, peachy kind of color, right? And that's normal for everybody, you know. And so to kind of see how that image disintegrates, you know. And so maybe you can hold something in your hand, right, and go by that light and stare at it and close your eyes and open them until you can keep that image in your mind, you know, and then close your eyes and see, and go into a dark space and see how that image dissolves. You know, does it just flash out? Does it slowly kind of fade to black? Does it look like it sublimates? You know, those are different kinds of things, and those are, and once you get through that, the practice would be, you know, to try to see how long you can maintain that image and hold that image before it dissolves on you, right? And then further down the line, when you do that, can you bring that image back, right? And so that's how you can practice with that to get used to that being a part of you, right? When you can influence it and control it and work with it, it'll make it real for you in a way that has nothing to do with experts and, you know, what materialism will try to tell you about these things, right? And then for the etheric body, that is directly related to your breath, right? So a good place to start would be Yogi Ramachakra's Scientific Breathing. It's an audio book right on YouTube, and what they have in there, it's important. I'd listen to that for at least the first 40 minutes, if nothing else, because that explains how the nasal passage works, nasal breathing, box breathing, you know, in, hold, out, hold, 4 parts of your breath. And so when you do that, if you go into a dark space again, and eyes open or closed, and you start doing that breathing, you'll notice in your field of vision undulations of these different colors, purples, greens, blues, you know, and they'll get be more pronounced, right? Well, that's your etheric body, and that's related to your interstitium again, and that's one of the main things that plants are able to visualize and see. And so they call it atmospheric energy in nature, but inside of us, that's that etheric energy that connects us to that. You know, and that's how they're able to see to modify themselves to help us in those experiments that they're doing with them. And so this one is PIP photography, polychromatic interference photography, energy field. It says an image displayed on a PC monitor where the electrical signals from the video camera are graded into clearly visible colors representing a much finer gradation of light intensity than the image entering the camera. The camera therefore is not revealing what it normally shows. Light intensities can now be distinguished, what would otherwise be impossible to the unaided human eye, right? And so that can be used for finding out illnesses, injuries, sicknesses, all that kind of stuff. Resonant field imaging. This is after years of research, mechanics of bioenergy. ITEM has successfully developed what we believe to be the first objective bioenergy measurement and analysis system in the world. Resonant field imaging. Using this experimental process, you can easily monitor auras of humans, animals, plants, as well as evaluate the energy fields of non-living objects. Less than other aura imaging device on the market. Doctors, chiropractors, psychologists, alternative therapists, and hobbyists all over the world are joining the revolution form of international photography. And so, like I said, what they're using that is to be able to look at the energy of your body and get these understandings through the colors to be able to determine, where you are in your energy system and health issues that you may or may not be having, right? And so what they're doing is there's this antenna that they have. And that is how, if you watch Gerald Clark's human antenna, energy and consciousness video, he talks about how he does that type of imaging, and he can use that antenna and he can place it on your body, and then he has an equation that he uses to be able to determine where you are in your energy system, because that energy that frequency that comes off of there's an equation that he put in there. It's E max equals weight times gravity divided by lambda nu squared, right? And what that does when you have that frequency is that will give you a visual light, a number in the visual light spectrum that coincides with what would be the chakra systems in your body, right? And so these things are like I said, measurable, they're replicable. As far as science goes, the only thing that's saying that these things aren't real is the Church of Materialism. Science doesn't care. These are tools that people are using, and if you have an issue with your health, you want somebody that has access to these things, because if you're going to the regular medical world, my wife, myself, relatives that I know go through family practice, specialists, and just keep getting kicked around, and they're not able to figure out what's going on, for any number of reasons, but then you have people that can access these equipment that are using them in doctors' offices that can give you very, very precise understandings of what you need to fix within your body and what may be going on, right? And so, again, like I said, this is kind of just a real quick video on those three aspects of the body. I'll be doing some more on them. Coming up here, I'm going to be doing some videos on the experimentations that were done in the 20s with plants, plant consciousness, ways to access and work with plants to ask questions and get answers back, and how the anthropomorphization of plants is able to reflect with us things that we need to know for our future, with food, with medicine. The way things are, we may be self-reliant very quickly here and not have access to some of these other things. Well, nature is all around you, and if you have this information and some of this equipment that's affordable now, you can work with plants directly and work with nature and get access to a whole world of information that's been kind of sitting and just waiting for us to access it. So again, I appreciate the time. Hope.